So I watched Weapons today, and oh my God, I cannot wait to talk about this movie. But before I do, I just want to let you guys know that I will be including spoilers in this video. So if you have not seen the movie, do not watch this video because I will not be holding back with spoilers. So there's your spoiler warning if you have not seen it. But yeah, let me just get into this. I'm going to start off by saying it's between this and Sinners for me for best movie of the year so far. We're in August. We're pretty much we're past halfway through the year. There've been some really great movies this year, but this and Sinners right now, I got to think more because I just saw the movie today, but I don't know which one I like better. I mean, they're both contending for top one. I don't know at the moment, but I have to think about it. Now, I haven't made a video in a while because I've been dealing with a lot of stuff. I've been moving, I've been starting uni, so a lot of things have been going on, but I want to get back into the swing of things and making videos, and I thought, why not talk about this movie because I absolutely loved it and I cannot wait to discuss it. So, if you don't know, Weapons is a new horror film from Zach Cregger, who directed Barbarian a couple years ago, which I also loved. I might have even reviewed it. I'm not sure. It was a while ago, but I think I might have reviewed Barbarian. I'm not sure. But anyway, I was very excited for this movie because I loved Barbarian, and so very, very much anticipated. You know, the cast is pretty great. We got Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, Alden Ehrenreich, and Austin Abrams, I believe his name is. Those are the main four. Oh, Benedict Wong as well. So yeah, a pretty great cast, and also like a surprise character. What the actress's name? I forget her name. She's married to Ed Harris. Is it? I've got no clue to be honest with you, but she was incredible. But anyway, this movie. So the basic premise is 17 kids from this one classroom get up at 2:17 in the morning and run off, and they are never came back. Was what the opening is, right? 17 kids, 2:17 in the morning. They got out of bed, opened the door, ran away, and never came back. And this movie is disturbing. This movie is funny. This movie is scary, and it's very clearly an analogy and metaphor for gun violence in schools. And I don't want to get too. I'm not going to get too political with this, but the message was very clear, right? Is that it's about gun violence within schools and school shootings and things like that. And the metaphor is very clear. But this movie, it does it in such an amazing story. There's been a criticism going around that I've seen on Twitter of people saying that this movie's about nothing. Did you watch it with your eyes closed? I mean, I don't know how anybody can think that, but anyway, the story is non-linear. So the story follows about five. So there's Justine, Archer, Marcus, Alex, and Paul, right? And also, what's his name? The junkie, Austin Abrams character. I think it's like Jake or something like that. I'm not sure, but it follows those characters throughout one day, right? And it follows their experience in the day, and with each story or with each person you follow, you find out something new, and it all leads to this conclusion at the end, right? And oh, I really loved it. I didn't know anything. I didn't know that it was going to be doing non-linear storytelling. I had no clue that was the method of storytelling they were using for this movie, but it works so well. It works so well. Julia Garner is amazing as Justine, the teacher. Josh Brolin for me is oh. I don't know. I really love Josh Brolin. I was gonna say he might be the standout, but I just think Austin Abrams' character, the junkie, is so hilarious, and his story with Paul, the cop, Alden Ehrenreich's character, is so hilarious and so funny, but also ends up being so disturbing. It's really great, and there's so much like gruesome scenes in this movie. One thing that really got me is when Paul the cop kept sticking his finger, like kept getting stuck with these needles. That really fucking freaked me out. And I'm not even someone who hates needles either, but just the fact of like sharing needles with like a junkie, but it's like an accident. So accidentally sticking your finger in a junkie's needle, it's just it's horrific. I don't want to think about it. But yeah, the performances were great, especially Alex. The child who plays Alex was so great in this movie. But anyway, you find out something I was a little bit confused about is, especially going into the movie, is it about like 40, 50 minutes in, you find out where the kids are. You don't know the context. You don't know why the kids are there or who brought them there or what, but you find out where they are. And so I was like, oh, about 40 minutes in, I was like, oh, okay, so what's the rest of the movie going to be about? If we already know where the kids are, what's going to happen? And then, we find out. But I love the way they tell the stories. I think every one of them was awesome. I was so disturbed though, and this is one of those mysteries where It's a mystery film pretty much. And this is one of those mysteries where you sort of can't figure it out because there's a key piece that isn't introduced until like an hour into the film, an hour 20 or something like that. And so you cannot figure this out unless you watch the whole movie. You know what I mean? You can't guess the plot, which there's some pretty heavy foreshadowing when they paint witch on Julia Garner's car. I'm not even lying to you. I genuinely thought, will this be? Is this like? It's got something to do with witchcraft, or is like a witch involved? I mean, it's pretty heavy foreshadowing if they do. It was a thought that crossed my mind, but I wasn't thinking about it the whole time. And then when it was revealed to be a witch, I was like, holy shit, it was a witch. You know what I mean? And so that to me was really sick. I really am someone who likes witch stories, and I'm very interested in like not witchcraft itself, but the history of witches and the Salem witch trials and what happened then, and even a little bit of supernatural stuff. I find so really really interesting, and so I was really excited. I had no clue this was going to be about a witch or about witchcraft or anything like that. But to see that involved and to see witchcraft used in a way where it's actually like scary, it reminds me of the movie The Witch from Robert Eggers, who used witchcraft in a very scary sort of devilish ancient sort of way, and it's sort of they do it in this movie, and it was really scary. The actress who plays Gladys is so terrifying. There's so many cool jump scares with her early on in the film where you don't know what she is. I couldn't even figure out, every time I saw her, I couldn't figure out that's an old lady in like a wig. I thought it was like a clown or something when you see her on Justine's ceiling, or you see her in place of Matthew when Josh Brolin's character Archer is talking to his son in the dream, or you see Austin Abrams' character see her in the forest. Didn't register to me that was an old woman. I was like, this is a clown. That's just my immediate vibe with the bright clothes and the bright red hair and the red makeup. And then when she is introduced, like properly, in that scene with Marcus, the principal, and she walks in like that, it's genuinely so disturbing and so terrifying. I know it's supposed to be comedic in a way, but when you see her silhouette sort of walking past the glass, you're like, it's a figure that you've been seeing throughout the whole film, and you're like, oh my god, like it's just having a figure, not all powerful, but a very powerful and sort of all-knowing figure lurking in the background of the film is just so disturbing and makes it feel like you've been watched the whole time. You know what I mean? It's like, holy, she was there the whole time. That was so creepy to me. And yeah, going through Alex's whole point of view of the day was so terrifying. I loved the classic, like they not classic witch imagery, but they did a lot of cool witch stuff, right? Like with the she was like in a when she was doing the witch ritual, right, to get all the kids to come, and she was putting the kids' objects in the bowl and doing that ritual, and then she puts like a spark in there and it lights up her face. It's like a cauldron, like a witch mixing a cauldron. That's the vibe I got from that, and it was so cool. This movie's like really reminiscent to me of Hansel and Gretel, which I think is very much on purpose, but of a witch luring kids in. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe that's a bit surface level, but that's just what I was thinking when I was watching it, and I thought it was just really, really cool to pull on that classic witch imagery. But anyway, yeah, the movie is so disturbing. I can't believe how good that actress was. I didn't even know she was going to be in this. I didn't even know that there was a whole nother character that you weren't introduced to. But her method of witchcraft as well is absolutely terrifying. Possessing these bodies, like Alex's parents basically becoming zombies. And when she does that, when she has that conversation with Alex at the dinner table, like, you will not tell a soul that I exist, that I'm here. You will not, and I will know if you do. And then she forces the parents to stab themselves with forks and says, I can make them eat each other if I want to. It's such a display of power and dominance. It's so terrifying, and that actress just gives such a terrifying performance. I love Robert Eggers. I'm so excited to see what he does next. He's doing Resident Evil next, right? But I'm just so excited to see what he does with that. Truly, I will be seated for anything he does now. It just is so great. And the ending was so cool. The way the children rip her apart. It's like, it's just... And the thing is, it's funny, right? There's a lot of funny moments. Like, my theater was laughing when the kids were chasing her through the houses and she was running away screaming. And when Josh Brolin was tossing the junkie Austin Abrams character around the room, and screaming like, not screaming, but saying, what a little freak. And when he has that dream, when Archer has the dream, Josh Brolin's character has that dream about seeing Matthew, and then wakes up after seeing the witch in his dream and just yells out, what the fuck? You know what I mean? He felt like a very real person. All the characters felt like very real people. But yeah, the movie is disturbing though. Don't let me saying it's funny trick you into thinking it's not disturbing. I mean, if you've seen it, obviously if you're watching this, you've already seen it. But the movie is so disturbing. When Marcus, Benedict Wong's character, has to kill his husband and then goes chasing after Justine, Julia Garner's character. It's so disturbing. And the way the witch Gladys just does the ritual right in front of them. Because no one would suspect, a seemingly sweet old lady. It's very creepy and very, very much it's very disturbing. It is, but I loved this movie. I honestly didn't want it to end. Now, if I was to have to pick any flaws of it, I would. The only thing I would suggest, or not suggest, is the only thing I had a problem with was I was sort of left with a couple questions, like why did the witch, getting the children into their basement or into their house, how is that going to help her heal and not get sick? I mean, you can assume that she's just going to drain their life force, but she didn't do that. They just stood there. You know what I mean? Unless she's already draining the life force, and that's why it says at the end that the kids, they was traumatized after, and some of them didn't even speak until a year after. You know what I mean? And the parents who were mind controlled for a longer time, they go into a psych ward. You know what I mean? And presumably have irreversible brain damage. You know what I mean? So that's it. Is I would just want to know how her luring the children in is going to heal her. I mean, you can obviously assume she's going to feed on their life force, but I would have liked to have been told that. But I'm so curious about that witch character though. Like, how old is she? Where does she come from? Where does her power come from? Where did she learn witchcraft? And Zach Cregger already said he imagines another story in this world. I would kill for him to do a movie, explaining like a prequel. You know what I mean, about Gladys. Like, I would kill for that. This movie was amazing. So yeah, that's my review for Weapons. It's in theaters now. If you have not seen it, which I don't know why you're watching this if you haven't seen it, but go watch it. It's truly amazing. One of the best movies of the year, maybe even my number one. I don't know yet, but yeah, amazing movie. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.